Repair of the side bin and damaged flange remains to be done. We begin with the repair of localized deformation on a side rail. Before we begin pressing and applying heat treatment, a straight edge is used to determine where the material has stretched the most. After the frame has been pressed to its correct position, it is heated to shrink the stretched material. It is straightened with a 40-ton C-clamp, which can even be used for riveting. The C-clamp and counterstay are now used. During the straightening procedure, checks are made with a straight edge to ensure that enough force has been applied by the press. Heat treatment is then applied to the flange so that the material will shrink. When heating frame material, never exceed 650 degrees Celsius and always check the temperature with a thermometer gauge. When the temperature has dropped to 450 degrees Celsius, water is used to accelerate the cooling process. The result is carefully checked. To repair the damaged flange, we use a 10-ton C-clamp and straightening set. The C-clamp is made ready to be attached to the damaged section. The area is heated to 650 degrees Celsius. The C-clamp is quickly moved to one side and the press applied. After the temperature of the material has dropped, water is used to speed up the cooling process. The result, as we can see, is perfect. The next job is to measure the whole frame for sideways bend. Measuring results are noted in the test report. To obtain the best result, Josam's laser-assisted measuring system for frame axles and wheels is used. A wheel clamp is fixed to the rear wheel, and then a laser projector is attached. The clamp is set up in such a way so that one adjusting arm is horizontal and the other vertical. A camber gauge is also attached to the wheel clamp spindle to enable adjustment of the spindle horizontally. To determine if the spindle is horizontal, the camber gauge is set to 0 and the wheel clamp adjusted until the bubble is level. Self-centering frame gauges are hung in place on the frame and gauge extensions are fitted. Afterwards, a measuring scale is put on each extension. The laser is lined up by means of the horizontal adjusting arm so that the same scale value is obtained in both the front and rear, in this case 100. If the frame is straight, the same value is indicated on the other scales. It is easy to detect any deviation in the frame by using these basic measurements. The faulty section is straightened until the same reading is obtained on all the scales according to the manufacturer's specified tolerances. Josam's patented press-pull trolleys, JO2000, manufactured in aluminum alloy with built-in hydraulics, are now put to use. Once again, safe working practice is described in the Josam instruction manual, and in this way, personal injury and damage to the equipment are avoided. The trolleys are on wheels and are simple to move around the workshop. Even in restricted spaces, they can be easily placed in the right position without dismantling other parts of the vehicle. When the trolley is in place, the wheels are retracted. 2 locking devices are inserted in the floor beam and the equipment is anchored to the floor. The straight edge is used to check where the side rails were bent and consequently stretched. To apply heat treatment to this section later, the area of maximum deformation is marked with chalk. Force is used to press back the deformation. Slight overpressing is necessary to counteract the elasticity in the frame. The same rule applies as before. It is better to use caution than be overzealous with the press. If too much pressure is applied on a bend, all the equipment must be readjusted and the repair procedure started from scratch. Heat treatment is now used to shrink the stretched sections of the frame which were previously marked with chalk. After the hydraulic pressure is released, a final check is made to establish that the frame is straight. After straightening the vehicle, don't forget to check that the wheels and axles are correctly aligned. This procedure can be seen in the Josam video on wheel and axle alignment.